So we did the first little, I think we read the first page of Lumber Room. We have to continue from the second page. Am I right? Are we to start here or somewhere else? Or you can't remember anything at all? Binara, be honest, what's the situation? Can't remember anything at all?
Can't remember anything, miss.
Okay, then let's start from scratch. No problem. Okay, the Lumber Room by Saki. Saki's real name is Hector Human Rowe, and his pen name or the pseudonym means the pen name, is Saki. Right, so you might have your own, artists, singers, and all these people. They have their own names. Their real name is not that. They change their names to match their styles and all that. So same way, Saki is a man. It's not a woman. Please don't write she. Some people in their answers I've seen me, but I've seen certain students writing she later on thinking Saki is a girl. Saki is not, he's a man. And people like Roald Dahl were inspired by Saki's writing, and Saki is mainly specialized in writing children's stories. He has written more stories, but he's famous for children's stories. And the persona of this is third person. And can you tell me the advantages of third person narrative? What's third person?
narrator side.
මමත්
Sorry, what
නොවන
did
ඔබත් නොවන වෙන කවුරු හරි
කවුද කිව්වේ?
වුණාත්
Unali.
Okay, මට voice එකවත් මතක නෑ. ඇහුන්නේ නෑනේ කාලෙකින්. Okay.
ආයි
මමත්
අපි
නොවන?
did you miss me
No. Okay. මමත් නොවන ඔබත් නොවන yes වෙන කවුරු හරි. Yes, that is third person. Okay. Alive, no? I thought you all were dead because I didn't see you all in a while. Never mind. Yeah. So, first person narrative is when you are in the story and you start the story saying I, right? I am this, I am that, I went there, like that. If you tell your story, that is in first person. Tell me some poems or some text that you find in first person in your syllabus.
breakfast
Breakfast, good. Bea, Binner, are you serious? That's a drama. How can a drama be in a first? What the hell? It's dialogues. It's not a. Okay. Yeah. Breakfast. What else? Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. Farewell to Barn and Stack Country. Terrorist is watching is in first person.
the
Onita.
that of that
Earthen Goblet. Yes. Okay. Onita, how is terrorist is watching in first person? Terrorist, he is watching. Title game dila terrorist, he is watching. Okay. Third person. I'm asking about first person.
Miss, what about bird came down the walk?
A bird came down the walk. He did not know. I saw. Yeah, okay. What else? From prose? Camels, difficult to do. Trees and grow. Lambaru? Ani Onita, Onita Mehema. පටන් ගත්ත මම third person narrative කියලා මෙන්න දානවා ලම්බරු උඳු.
You said it was first person.
First person තමයි. So first person lumber room is not in first person. It's in third person. First person තියෙන prose මොනවාද?
Nightingale and the Rose.
Only the see you in individual classes. Eagle ළමයිනේ. Eagle කියන්නේ prose එකක්ද? Very nice. Okay, so talking about prose, you have, this is what happened when there's no consistency. Kapata matuna, kapata atrudhangana. Okay. So in prose, you have two extracts and two short stories. Two extracts. One is an extract from a novel, and the other is an extract from a speech. The two short stories, you have the Nightingale and the Rose, and the Lumber Room by Saki.
Miss, the wave is also first person, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to get there. Yeah. So the two short stories that you have are written in third person, while the two other extracts that you have are in the first person. Obviously, speech I think first person ne how the Sangakara speech, so he's talking about himself, so obviously it's in first person. And the novel Wave, it's a memoir or a memorial of the tsunami incident, and Sonal Deranyagala is telling about her own personal experience during the tsunami. So because of that, it is also in first person, right? So what are the advantages or disadvantages in using first person narration? What are the advantages in using first person narration?
Their point of
Trial
view.
version.
Their point of view. What do you mean by point of view? What point of view?
The speech is
Not
about
clear.
from
Trial
their point
version.
of view.
මට trial version කියලා හන ඔයා කියන එක අස්සෙන්, so I don't know what you're saying. Hello, can you repeat?
Wow.
Yeah, ඔයාගේ voice එකත් එක්කම trial version කියලා හනවා.
Sorry, මංගේ මේ ඒ poem එක first person poems වල ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ point of view එකකින් කියන්නේ ඒතර ඒක ස්පෙෂල් දෙයක් නේ. අනිත් ඒවා දෙන්නගේම point of views එකක් ගන්නවා, දෙන්නගේම speech සමාන යන්නේ. අර එක අදගේ point of view එකකින් කියන්නේ.
It's not biased කියලා කියන්නේ මිස්.
Okay, yeah. I get it. Okay, so in first person narration, you kind of get a bias response because it's referred to as I. And when you the advantage of it is that you get more emotionally connected to the person because it sounds very personal, because it sounds that that person is telling that person's story, so it has more emotion in it. And in terms of convincing also, you can kind of you may feel sympathetic towards those characters and stuff like that because it is in first person. So Farewell to Barnard's Second Tree is given in first person. Do you think it is good that it was written in first person or not? Now you all are you are literature majors now, so now you have the brain to analyze, well trained enough to do so. So tell me.
It's good that so like the when the murder like the murder can have the murder's full idea about the guiltiness of him.
Okay. And the title of the text is Farewell to Barnard's Second Tree. So he is bidding his farewell. It is his personal plea. It is his own emotions that he is expressing. So if his emotions were given in third person, you wouldn't get the same feeling. It is him confessing, so it's much better giving it in his own perspective, because the highlight of the story is that person, right? So it's about how the inability to control one's emotions may lead to irreversible disastrous effects. And how about Breakfast? Breakfast is also in first person. How do you think it affects the poem?
We don't get the point of view of the husband.
We don't get the point of view of the husband, and only through the way the wife describes the husband, his actions are what gives us kind of a highlight as to what he might be going through. So it is kind of biased towards her. Yes.
Yeah, since it's first person, we don't know what the husband is feeling and like what is in his mind.
Exactly. Now, in the two short stories that we have Nightingale and the Rose and the Lumber Room. We have already done the Nightingale and the Rose, so it is given in third person. What do you think about that? Being in third person, is it is it a good choice by Oscar Wilde to write it in third person, or do you think it would have been better if it was in first person or second person?
Madam, I got a question.
Yes, Sonita.
So in Nightingale, the like it's all about the nightingale. So like it tells that I will say it and all. So it's isn't it first person?
Yeah. Those are quotes. The quotes are given obvious. So when you write the short story and when you read the short story, the quotes, when you talk to someone, the quotes are given using I and all that, and said the Nightingale said this and that. It's not in first person. Dialogues don't count. එහෙනම් මේකත් කියන්න on first person second person කියලා. ඒ වගේ අපිට මේකත් කියන්න පුළුවන් එහෙනම්. Example, now look at this. You said there couldn't possibly be a frog in my bread and milk. There was a frog in my bread and milk. He repeated. We don't check the narrative point from the code, from the what you call the line that they say. We check it through this. Got it. Okay. And yeah, so about Nightingale and the Rose. Yeah, I'm asking a question. If it was in first person or something, do you think it would have been a different outcome, or do you think Oscar Wilde made a good choice by giving it in third person? And if so, what are the advantages in it? Binarage mana mataka naha Nightingale ge answers tibbada kiyala Binara. Did you write any Nightingale and the Rose answers? I don't recall marking any Nightingale answers of yours. Can't even remember. Very nice. Where is the study tracker? Under the bed? Dog ate it. Come physical video, I'll catch y'all. Okay. Because now it's term 3, almost term 3, so now no more playing around. I gave y'all some time during the last few weeks because we are starting papers from this week onwards and you won't be having time to breathe in the class. That is why I gave you some time to write the answers and all that to, get on set. Otherwise, you'll get exhausted and get fed up of the subject. And your come physically, I'll show you what happens if you don't answer, if you don't do the work as well. And next day onwards, when you come, the what do you call if you don't do the homework, I have no other choice but to put your names on the group, which is not something I like to do because it's not good. I don't care about you, I care about your parents. Okay, it's not nice for the parents because it's not nice, right? That is why I didn't do that all this time. But due to the request of certain parents, I have no other choice but doing it. So what I thought was I won't be putting the message once. What you will have to get the response is from this. And if that doesn't work, then the group. Okay? You know what this means. Okay. Right. So third person, no, not high. Okay. So if a particular prose text is given in third person, then neither the writer, so the speaker, nor the reader is in the story. It's a whole third party. That way, you have a third person view or an out of the circle view of the text. Yes, on the tree branch, yeah, that is also there. Yeah, so you get an out of the box view. So nothing is taken personally, where you can get a good unbiased choice. So you can take sides of people basing on solely the facts that are given. Now, if you take Nightingale and the Rose, imagine it was written in the Nightingale's perspective. Then the way the student, and I mean, it is kind of biased towards the Nightingale, but still, if it was like solely written in first person, then the way the girl would be described and everything else would have changed. The effect wouldn't be the same. Now, in this story, Lumber Room, since the aunt and Nicholas are the main characters, and neither of them are, used as the main character giving the first person persona, you have the choice to make. Although generally speaking, Nicholas is the protagonist and the aunt is the antagonist, one might argue the opposite. Because it's in third person, you can choose. Someone who reads this might, say Nicholas is wrong and take aunt's side. So it's totally, the writer gives kind of like a third party view. Okay, this is what happens. It's not you, it's not me. So you can look at them and you have the choice. You have the ability of making your decisions. The reason I was talking about the third person factor is that when you write your answers, you can mention that in your introduction, and many children just leave it to the introduction only. Just mention that it's third person, first person, or whatever, and that's it. But you can, elaborate it and say how the usage of third person has helped the text, and make it a sub point or a main point in your body paragraphs itself. When it comes to character development, the narrative point of view is very important. Because if imagine Lumber Room was written in the perspective of the aunt, then aunt හොඳ එක්කෙනාව ගැන කතා කරන්න. aunt ගේ වැරදි කියන්නේ නැහැ. Nicholas තනිකර fault එක දාන්න. And sometimes when you read it, you might just take the aunt side totally. I hope you got it. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. Right. Onita, start reading.
The children were driven as a special treat to Sands of Jagborough. Nicholas was not to be of the party. He was in disgrace. Only that morning he refused to eat his wholesome bread and milk, and seemingly
Frivolous
grounds that there was a frog in it. Older and wiser and better people had told him that there could not possibly be a frog in his bread and milk, and that he was not to talk nonsense. He continued nevertheless to talk what he seems worst nonsense, and describe with much detail coloration and marking of the algaed frog. The dramatic part of the incident.
Algaed neme, alleged frog, not algae.
Alleged.
The dead frog.
The
What it
dramatic-
means is dead. Okay. Okay. Right. First there. So the children in the story. Who are the children who are in the story? You have Nicholas, the boy cousin, the girl cousin, and the quite uninteresting younger brother. These are the children in the story. So context they kahanna puluwan who are meant as children. So everyone except Nicholas are to be taken. So everyone except Nicholas you have the boy cousin, the girl cousin, and quite uninteresting younger brother. And there is a character who's called Bobby. This Bobby can either be the boy cousin or the younger brother. කාගෙද නම කියලා sure නැහැ. ඒ දෙන්නගේ එක්කෙනෙක් තමයි Bobby කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? These are the characters of the story, apart from Aunt and Nicholas. So these children are to be sent. They are sent to Jagborough Sands. It's kind of like a sandy park, a beach kind of area. And Nicholas was not to be of the party because he was in disgrace. What is the meaning of the word disgrace? What kind of things are disgraceful? Disgrace means something similar to shame. Avanambuak. What kind of things may evoke disgrace to a family? Anita. Killing the cat? Cat? Killing a cat can... Okay. A very spontaneous and weird answer. Mom is a cat fan. Okay. Okay. That's a personal factor. You know, හොරකම් කරලා මංකොල්ල කාලා කුඩු මොන හරි use කරලා අන්න ඔය වගේ එකක් මොකක් හරි එකක් තමයි bringing distress to the family. This we are talking about is a child who's around 10 years old. Not even 10. 8, maybe like 8, 9 years old. How can he do something that is so disgraceful? The only act that he has done is putting a frog into his bread and milk, into his breakfast bowl. How is that a disgraceful act? So aunt, as a habit, she overly exaggerates or elongates the actions of the children into a very, not into a mild way, into an excessive way. So the word disgrace, the word wholesome, and few other words that come in the future are mostly references to the Bible, which we call biblical allusion. Allusion are references. So biblical allusions are references to the Bible. Now I'm asking you a question. Tell me a poem where we find biblical allusion. Tell me a poem we find biblical allusion. Now with the camera, Onita, I can see somewhere like prison with nice lightings, like a gaming prison. I cannot see you, Onita. Yeah, what's the poem? Now we know that emoji looks just like you.
Adam, my
What
connection
Yeah.
is bad and I keep disconnected. Can I turn off my camera?
Okay. To the evening star. Yes, to the evening star. Finally, no better. Yes, yes. How? Okay. Yeah. So to the evening star has biblical allusion. That's right. Okay. Then, yeah. So, according to the aunt, religion is a source of she take a screenshot tag on the It's okay. By the way, this is on recording, so I can take screenshots from the recording. Yeah, Anita. Yes. Okay. Then, okay. A biblical illusion. That's what we were talking about. So when it comes to the aunt uses punishments as a form of disciplining or guidance. Hi, Adita ke malli. And guidance and all of that, but it's more of a control mechanism. What is religion for? Why do we teach religion to children? Why do we practice religion? What is the point of religion? Tell me first. Don't respond saying I'm an atheist. Oh, yeah,
Disciplining.
disciplining. Okay. Make life easier. Okay. Okay. Tell me which of these explanations are right as a parent. Okay. One of them mata inna lamik. Mage lamaya කාවද මේ පූසෙට ගල් ගහනවා. ඕකේ මගේ ළමයා පූසෙට ගල් ගහනවා. එතකොට මොකද අනේ hina වෙන්නේ? මගේ ළමයා පූසෙට ගල් ගහනකොට මම කියනවා පුතේ ගල් ගහන්න එපා පූසන්ට ඒක පව් සිද්ධ වෙන වැඩක්. Is that a good explanation? Is it good parenting? Vinora says yes. World class criminal? No. Okay. What do you mean yes and no? No. I don't know. Maybe. Onita says maybe. Vinora says no. And what? Okay. I don't know. What do you think now? Is it correct parenting? I'm saying පුතේ සතුන්ට ගාල් ගහන්න එපා පුතේ පව් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. පූසන්ට ගාල් ගහන්න එපා. How අහිංසක kitties don't hit kitties.
ගහන්න ඕනේ.
ගහන්න ඕනේ.
Miss, I say it's bad parenting.
You
ළමයාට
say it's
ගලකින්
bad.
ගහලා පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ මේ පූසට රිදෙනවා අර රිදෙනවා නේද කියලා.
And that's what I wanted. That is ළමයට ගල ගහන්න ඕනේ නෑ, but ළමයට ඒක කියලා දෙන්න ඕනේ. ගල ගහන්න එපා පූසට රිදෙන නිසා. Not because of pow. Because you can't see the pow.
එතකොට ළමයාටත් ගලක් ගහලාද?
ළමයට ගල ගහන්නේ නෑ. ළමයට කියනවා පූසට ගලෙන් ගැහුවාම පූසට රිදෙනවා. ඔයාට ගලකින් කාරුවර ගැහුවොත් ඔයාටත් රිදෙනවා. So ඔයාට රිදෙනවා වගේම පූසටත් රිදෙනවා නම් ගහන්න එපා. That's a sin නෙමෙයි, because that animal doesn't deserve it. When you can see the cow when the cat says meow, says Binara the poet. You can see cow when the cat says meow. Very poetic, Binara. Nice. See, I see potential. Good. Okay. Right. So, okay. That's what. Then aunt mechanism එක තමයි ඒක. මොන හරි දෙයක් කරොත් පව් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. You're doing something shameful. It's disgraceful. That's how she uses religion to control. These are characteristics of the aunt. Because we don't have the time to reread text again from the beginning of the story. I'm analyzing plus reading it. Okay. So basically, when it comes to the aunt is the caretaker. Because Saki has not directly said anywhere that Lambaroom is his personal story, but I think Saki's sister, I'm not sure. As I remember, it was Saki's sister. Someone mentions in a book or article or something that it is kind of his own story which he has written in other words. So if you look at Saki's life, Saki lost his mother when he was very young. And Saki's dad takes him to England. They are from Burma, Myanmar. And from there, Saki's dad takes Saki to England along with Saki's siblings and hands them over to some of I think the father's sisters, I'm not sure, to take care of them. And they are basically Saki's aunts. So Saki grows up with Saki's aunts. And these aunts were unmarried as well, so they were kind of cruel to him and all that. So it was more, so it's kind of similar to his childhood, right? So basically she is the caretaker of the household, and aunt character something very important is her role as a caretaker. So her style of caregiving is important. She uses punishments, religion. She basically misuses religion. Religion should be, something for you to seek refuge, something that gives you relief, something that makes your life feel easier, something that you can use as a guiding mechanism, not something that you should be afraid of. But aunt makes religion look like something that you should be afraid of, which is not good parenting at all. Okay. Is that point clear? I'm emphasizing it overly because you can write these in your essays. And I hope you are taking these things down somewhere as well. Okay, right. And he is like, so what's the thing that he has done? He has just done a playful thing. Kids will be kids, right? You all do pranks as well. You all do this and that to people. Right now, deja vu. We prank people. Those are normal things. That's what kids do. And is that something to use the word disgrace for? Not at all. Right? Okay. Unal the Great. Yeah, Unal the Great. Then, older, wise and better people, please underline or highlight this phrase. Older, wiser and better people. Now, basically in life, people say, most of the time in settings like Sri Lanka, authoritative, not authority, it's authoritative. She is an authoritarian, right? So basically in settings like Sri Lanka, what they say is just because someone is older, that one is wiser and better. That is not really true, because the experiences and exposure that people might get may change from person to person. Sometimes a child who is much more younger might have gone through things which are, even greater or even more difficult than what someone older might have gone through, and vice versa. So age counts, but maturity isn't age alone. And just because of the age, that doesn't make you better. But respect is something. Yes, you need to respect elders. You need to kind of give an ear towards what elders say. But just because something is said by an elder doesn't mean you need to believe it. That's it. So you need to understand the difference between respect and believing. Right now, what the adults say most of the time is, just because I'm older, you need to listen to me and all of that. And children, they are like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you just because you're older, and they take the kind of opposite way where they're also disrespectful. So you have to maintain a balance, and you need to be smart enough to know that you need to respect elders, but you need to know that you need to question and clarify things before believing anything or thinking that anyone's better. Even the Buddha itself told Mao Prashna Karan, ask anything just because I said so, you don't have to believe me. That's so live by that principle. The aunt, since she's the only adult or the sole responsible caretaker, there might be servants in the house, but she's the sole responsible caretaker. She has made the kids into believing that the philosophy that she pronounces all the time is that older people are always wise and better. So who are referred to as old, wise, and better people if they ask in a context question? The aunt is who is referred to so. Right, so the aunt is saying that there's no way that there can be a frog in the breakfast bowl, but there is, right? Because why? Because him being the child he's describing with the colors and all the markings and everything of how the dead frog looks like. Okay, Binara, continue reading.
Trial version.
Binara, are you reading? I cannot hear you.
Trial version.
Miss Kotanidanda.
Read it from here, will you? The dramatic part. You're muted, Binara. Are you talking to yourself?
I was. The dramatic part of the incident was that there really was a frog in Nicholas's basin of bread and milk. He had put it there himself, so he felt entitled to know something about it. The sin of taking a frog from the garden and putting it into a bowl of wholesome bread and milk was enlarged on at great length, but the fact that stood out clearest in the whole affair, as it presented itself to the mind of Nicholas, was that the older, wise, and better people had been proved to profoundly in error in matters about which they had expressed the utmost assurance.
Okay, right. So the drama. So it's kind of dramatic. Why he's telling it with so much of confidence, because he himself was the one who put the frog there, and it's quite obvious, right? He's a kid, so he wants to show off as well. Underline or highlight the word sin. The sin of taking a frog from the garden and putting it into the wholesome bread and milk. Wholesome. So it is what they're trying to say is healthy, but without saying healthy. So it's wholesome. Merit එකක් වගේ පිනක් වගේ. So right, was enlarged at a great length, and then you can use this as a quote as well. This is what Nicholas wanted to do. This is his goal. What he wanted was to teach Aunt a lesson, to show Aunt wrong. So he played a prank to do so. So Aunt was pretty much sure that there cannot be a frog in it because she prepared the breakfast herself. Or maybe she presents the breakfast herself and she's 100% sure that there is no frog. And Nicholas adds the frog there and he's like, okay, see, you're wrong. Okay. Now we know read.
Kotanidanda.
You said.
You said there couldn't possibly be a frog in my bread and milk. There was a frog in my bread and milk, he repeated, with the insistence of a skilled tactician who does not intend to shift from favorable ground. So his boy cousin and girl cousin and his quiet and
Continue, please.
uninteresting younger brother were to be taken to Jagborough Sands that afternoon, and he was to stay at home. His cousin's aunt, who insisted by an unwarranted stretch of imagination in styling herself, his aunt also had hastily invented the Jagborough expedition
ब्रेन को माइक की
in
कवर महने दे
order to express his because the delight that he had justly forfeited by his disgraceful conduct at the breakfast table. It was her habit. Whenever one of the child fell from grace to
Okay,
improvise,
right. Hold on. Okay. You said there couldn't possibly be a frog in my bread and milk. So he's telling as a insistence of a skilled tactician who does not intend to shift from favorable ground. So whatever the aunt is saying, he's not ready to accept defeat. And please highlight or underline skilled tactician. What is the meaning of skilled tactician? So tactician is someone who does tactics. Beautician can beauty karne ke na. So tactician is someone who does tactics and he's skilled at it. Skilled is something that comes with practice. And throughout the text, there are few places where he's being called a skilled tactician or a practitioner. So you would have to mark. So the first tactic that he does is what? Putting a frog into the breakfast bowl and proving aunt wrong. That is the first action that he does. Okay. Then, so mark that. Then, so his boy cousin, girl cousin, and quite uninteresting younger brother. So these three children are to be sent to the sands of Jagborough, and he was to stay at home. So what is her punishment? Her punishment is okay. Her intention was never to send these children to have fun. She is not this ever-loving caregiver. She doesn't want that. What she wants is to make Nicholas regret his actions, to make Nicholas feel bad about what he did. That is what she wants to do. To teach Nicholas a lesson. So she's like, okay, it's a power struggle. Mention it somewhere. One of the major themes of the story is the power struggle. There are few thematic concerns to consider. One is they're interconnected. Okay. First thing is the adult world versus the child world. Okay. They belong to two worlds. As a result, there's something called generation gap, which leads them to a power struggle. Oh yeah, who is better? These are the three main thematic categories of this text. This is my analysis. If you want to add something more, you can. Okay. And these three are interconnected. So it's easy to explain as well. I hope you are taking notes because I cannot see y'all. I don't know what on earth you're doing. Because three are joining from one. Okay. Right. Hi. Where's Aditya? I can't see Aditya. Where's Aditya?
Akalaniya.
You all have no filters in your mouths. No filters at all.
Filters no.
No need filters. Okay. Take these down, please. And then, so yeah. So what aunt wants to do are a fish tank filter. What is fish tank filter? The recording is cooked. Yes. God bless whoever watches this. Okay. Then Yeah. So that's what. So what she wants to do is that, and underline or highlight his cousin's aunt. Cousin's aunt. Why? It's okay, Binara. Why do you think that is important? එයාගේ නන්ද නෙමේ cousins දගේ නන්දලු. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට දැන් some people love tattletailing and saying stuff, right? දැන් සමහර දැන් මට උනත් බයිනවා ඇති දැන් කියනවා ඇති මේ අර ඔයාලගේ අර literature කෙනා ඉන්නේ this woman who is giving us like hectic homework and thinking we have nothing else to do in life. Y'all must be saying those stuff, right? So this person who calls herself a literature teacher, your teacher, now they are also students in the class, okay? They are also students here, but they are telling that this so-called person who calls herself the teacher, oh, it's like now I'm taking Naviru as an example. Naviru කියනවා මේගොල්ලෝ මේ අර ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ literature teacher ඉන්නේ නා මේ class එකේ තමයි ඉන්නේ, but කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ literature teacher කියලා බයිනවා දාගෙන she's not teaching well, she's not doing the lessons, or maybe I don't know, whatever complaints that you all want to say.
කියන්නම තියෙන්නේ.
මොකද නවින?
කියන්නම තියෙන්නේ
කියන්නම තියෙන්නේ. Okay. නෑ එහෙම කියනවා ඇති අපිට හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. Right. So එහෙම කියනවා නම් එතකොට කියන්නේ මොකක් කියලාද? මොකද කියන්නේ? Tagga. Yeah, Anita. Yes, Anita. You're right. I'm not going to read that out loud, but you're right. Yeah. So basically, එතකොට his cousin's aunt. මගේ නන්ද නෙමෙයි. මගේ cousins දගේ නන්ද. ඒකේ මගේත් නන්ද. So this shows the distant relationship between the aunt and Nicholas. They are not having a good relationship. They are having a very distant relationship. The relationship is in a way that Nicholas is not accepting the aunt to be his aunt. Hold on a sec. I can hear my dog crying. Get me 1 second. My dog has a ghost girlfriend outdoors. Every 10 minutes he wants to go out. Right. Cousin's aunt who insists. What have we done? Messinta. Okay. Last person now, who was left on earth without your inters also got it. Thank you so much. Okay, right. His cousin's aunt who insisted by an unwarranted stretch of imagination in styling herself also. His aunt also had hastily invented the Jagborough expedition in order to impress on Nicholas's delight that he has just forfeited by his disgraceful conduct at the breakfast table. This part is very important when it comes to her character. Her level of imagination is very low. She is not imaginative. She is not creative. She is bored. Now, I saw the message that you sent and deleted. It's fine. Okay. Right. So, these are characteristics of the aunt. You can mention those. She is unimaginative. She is not creative. And she is an authoritarian. These are the stuff that we found so far. Why? She has hastily invented. So, the Jagborough expedition is a short journey or a short trip. Wasn't something that was pre-planned. She didn't, organize this little trip or whatever with means of sending these kids to have fun. The only purpose of this was to teach Nicholas a lesson. So because of that, what does she do? She just, comes up with it on the spot and is okay, they are going to this Jagborough expedition and all that. So her intention is to make him feel bad for what he did. Just forfeited. Forfeiting is what? Ahimuna. Didn't get it. Didn't get something you should get. By his disgraceful conduct at the business. So for what he did, that's the punishment that he gets. Again, a good quote that you can use is, it was her habit. It's very easy to remember as well. And it was her habit, once again, is a good quote. her actions are really habitual. The punishments, everything she does is habitual. Into a level where the children know her next move. මේක කරොත් මෙයා කරන්නේ මේක කරොත් මෙයා කරන්නේ මේක කියලා they know. So they expect the outcome. So Nicholas has nothing to feel sad or worried about, because Nicholas knows what's going to happen next. So her punishment patterns and everything is tracked. So the child has outsmarted the aunt. I hope you're taking these things down. Okay. Whenever one of the children fell from grace, underline or highlight fell from grace and put biblical allusion once again. Have you all heard about Lucifer or the fallen angel? Yeah, with the big brain. Have you heard about Lucifer or the fallen angel? Do you know who that is? The car team, you know. It's not about cars. Team Lucifer, no, that's not what I'm talking about. The movie, series, the Lucifer. Yeah, so you kind of have an idea, right? I don't know much about Lucifer, but I cannot remember basically. What I remember was, something to do with something. He did something wrong in heaven and something. Heaven again 11. So the guy falling off from heaven, fallen angel again naked. So fell from grace. So the children, whenever children fell from grace, means offended. What it means in literal meaning is whenever child offends the aunt. Whenever one of the children does something wrong to the aunt or offends the aunt, the offender gets punished. Fell from grace is that. The literal meaning of it, if asked in a context question, what is meant by fell from grace, that is what they are referring to. So it's like the aunt is the almighty, and if you do something wrong to her, that's a sin kind of thing. So offending the aunt is a sin. You misusing religion to instill fear. Right? It's taken as a controlling mechanism than the real purpose of religion. So what does she do? She improvises something in a way. Okay, it was a habit. Unal read, it was a habit. I think here one either. I'm going to read, right? That part.
Yes.
Okay, right. So then, so basically, if one child does something wrong, what she would do, she would improvise something on the spot. Okay, එයාව තියලා අනිත් ඔක්කොම අල්ලව යවනවා කොහෙට හරි picnic එකක් හරි ඔය මොකක් හරි ජග්බරෝ සෑන්ස් වලට යවනවා වගේ, sending them to have fun, keeping this child alone. And if all of them did it together, she sinned collectively. How පවක් කරනවාද කියන්නකො පොඩි ළමයෙක් කියලා, it's the words are too much, the words that she uses. So if the children sinned collectively, then what does she do? She says, okay, there is a circus in the next town, in the neighboring town, with unrivaled is what is the meaning of unrivaled? Cannot be rivals. They can compete කරන්නවත් බැරි තරමට. And the words use merit. So that means here merit is good. So an excellent or a brilliant performance is happening in the neighboring town, and the children are not to be taken because of that. But she comes out with something like that and says, but because you all did this, I'm not taking you. What is the meaning of depravity? Depriving the right to do something. Okay, up to that point. So that is one part of the plot. Then comes the parting of departure. Unal read from there and hold on. Ogalant හෙට මොනවද තියෙන subjects?
Buddhism and English.
Okay, English is easy for
Buddhism and
you.
English.
Buddhism
English
පාඩම්
ම
කරලා
අමාරු.
තින්නේ. English අමාරු යන්නේ පව් අප්පා.
Buddhism lessons තවත් 10ක් පාඩම් ගන්න දෙන්න.
Very happy to hear. Okay. So
Me
do a
know-
warm. Sorry?
Me know English.
We know English. Okay. No, now we know. Yeah. So do you all want to end the class at 7:30?
යා.
Ooh. Come on, because you all have the term test and lesson 10ක් විතර පාඩම් කරන්න තියෙනවා කිව්ව හින්දා
lessons 30ක් තියෙනවා.
බොරු කියන්න එපා.
grade 10 21ක් තියෙනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ බුදුසම් මුකුත් පාඩම් කරලා නැද්ද?
බුද්ධිසම් පාඩම් කරලා තියෙන grade 10 21යි grade 11 එකේ 10ක් විතර තියෙන ඒ ටික පාඩම් කරා. තව lessons 13 14ක් ඇදින පාඩම් කරා.
හරි එහෙනම් 7:30 ඉවර කරන්න, then y'all can have a break and start studying from 8 o'clock till whatever the time ne. But after that the next day nang I cannot finish earlier, and in August to catch up all the classes that y'all missed this month, we'll be having classes in the mornings. So say goodbye to your vacations. Okay, continue reading. What do you mean no? If I tell your mother about how well you've written the paper, Onita, the no will become a yes. Your mother will, basically send you with a backpack and make you live in this house. So, okay, we'll come. Okay. මට තාම සමහරුගේ papers නම් හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ හොඳේ conflict papers. Yeah, no, I won't tell. Don't worry, Anita, I'm not going to tell. I need the house. Yeah, I won't tell. Don't worry. Okay, yeah, I need the conflict papers done. ගෙන් දුන්නේ නැති ළමයි කරුණාකර ගෙනලා දෙන්න. හොඳේ. Okay. උනාල් read. කාලගේ voice එක ඇහුවෙත් නැති එකේ.
You missed my voice, right?
Yes. We missed you a lot.
පවුනේ කොහෙන්ද තින් කියන්නේ?
Okay, one.
පොතින් දන්න.
කොතන ඉඳන්ද? නවත්තපු තැන ඉඳන්. A few decent years.
A few decent years were looked for one part of Nicholas when the moment for the departure of the expedited arrived. As a matter of fact, however, all the crime was done by his girl cousin, who scrubbed her knee rather peacefully against the step of the carriage, and she was scrambling in. How she did howl, said Nicholas cheerfully, as the party drove off without any of the relations of high spirit that. Oh ho! Scroll කරද්දි කියවන්න බෑ. Oh.
ඒ කියන්නේ අතේ ටියුට් එක නැද්ද?
තියෙනවා මේ මෙතන තියෙනවා නේද?
හරි තියෙනවා.
මම ලියන්න ඔලුවටද කියලා. හරියට.
මෙතන බා
Spirit, that's it.
ඕනිතර ටියුට් එක නැද්ද? I don't කියලා දාලා තින් don't you have the tute with you? No, what do you mean? Like you don't have it right now, or you didn't get it from me? ඕනිත? ඔයා මගෙන් ටියුට් එක ගත්තේ නැද්ද තාම? එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ ටියුට් එක. What? Didn't get it? Okay. Next time when you come, මේ මන්ද මේ ළඟදී ආවත් එක්ක නේද මෙතෙන් දවස් දෙකක් විතර Fridayත් ආවා. අරගෙන යන්න කරුණා කරලා. Next day when you come, drop me a text and keep. I'll find a tute and keep, or else I'll send you a PDF. You can take a print out. Okay, right. Continue, Unal.
She will soon get over that, said the decent aunt. It will be a glorious afternoon for racing about over those beautiful sand. How they will enjoy themselves. Bobby won't enjoy himself much, and he won't race much either, said Nicholas, with a grim chuckle. His boots are hurting him. They are too tight. Why didn't he tell me they were hurting? Asked the aunt with some asperity. He told you twice, but you weren't listening. You often don't listen when we tell you important things. You are not to go into Gooseberry Garden, said the aunt, changing the subject.
Okay, right. A few decent tears were looked on the part of Nicholas. Now, who is expecting Nicholas to cry?
Aunt.
Who wants aunt? Is it good parenting? No.
Yeah.
So she's being revengeful. What kind of an adult is that? She's very immature. She wants the child to cry. She wants the see the child sad. So once again, proof that aunt is not suitable to become a caretaker. මම වගේනේ මමත් ඔයගලන්ට ගහලා දුකෙන්ද කියලා මූණ බලන්නේ. Yes, මම වගේ කෙනෙක් නේ.
පොඩ්ඩක් අනේ.
මොකද?
ඔව් එහෙමමයි.
ඔව් එහෙමමයි නේ. තමයි මාත් aunt වගේ තමයි. නපුරුයි.
අර ආච්චි more than
yeah.
1200 නේ.
Yeah, I'm 1200 years old. Yeah, correct. That is aunt, this is Archie. What is cinema? What cinema? I can't remember the last time I watched a movie. What cinema me Onita? I found your age. 1200. Okay. Very interesting topic. What? No, the real one. Okay, Onika. No problem. No problem. 26. Bravo. Okay. If you call me 26, I will accept it. No problem, Monica. Sure. You're right. 26. Okay. Continuing from my 26 scenario, I don't know how you came up with the math. You're very smart, Monica. Okay. Right. Anyhow, Gemini. Okay, Gemini said what? Gemini and Naka? Sumeshi. Okay. Okay. My friends don't know my age, right? Okay. Probably. I know Sumeshi is 29, but I don't know anything else. Never mind. Okay, back to this. So yeah. Now aunt wants Nicholas to cry. But is Nicholas crying? No. Nicholas, as a matter of fact, is actually happy. A good feature that you can note down about Nicholas is that he's observant. He observes the surrounding carefully. What does aunt say? Aunt wants to show Nicholas that, okay, by offending me, you have to suffer. You are being punished because you offended me, and the ones who didn't offend me get to enjoy. That is her goal, right? To show that she is the one who is in control, to show that she's the one who holds power. While Nicholas, on the other hand, who is very observant, unlike the aunt who is very narrow-minded and unimaginative, he notices things. He sees, okay, the girl cousin is crying because she has scraped her knee. And Bobby won't enjoy either because his boots are hurting. So he's cool with it. Like, oh yeah, no, me all fun. I'm gonna have even more fun. Kind of something like that. And see how aunt is using language. See how they will enjoy themselves. The glorious afternoon for them to rest in those beautiful sands. Nicholas Nicholas but that's not what's happening. Highlight or underline this quote. You often don't listen when we tell you important things. Now, Nicholas notices that Bobby, Bobby isn't going to enjoy because Bobby's boots are hurting him because they're too tight. But aunt doesn't. And when aunt asks with, kind of like an attitude out of aspiration, she's like, why didn't he tell me? And he's like, he told you, you weren't listening. And another very important fact that you need to note down is how the minor here is pointing out the faults of the aunt. Aunt character gana kiyana kota. Now should I act as if I don't know what's happening there? Okay. Because I don't want to break the flow, I'm going to ignore. I'll catch you all later. So when it comes to the aunt, another feature of the aunt that you can highlight when you're writing about the power struggle, maybe if it's theme wise or if it's based on characteristics, something that you can mention is how it is the child or Nicholas outsmarts the aunt. Questions. Nicholas outsmarts the aunt. Nicholas doesn't just outsmart her, he also has analyzed her character so well. He knows her weaknesses, while aunt does not. And aunt changes the subject saying, you are not to go to the gooseberry garden. I'll just show you some of the questions that have popped up before we proceed. Wait. Past papers. 2016. Write and character analysis of the aunt in the lumber room, discussing her contribution to the central theme of the short story. Compare and contrast characters of Nicholas and the aunt. Nicholas is more powerful than the aunt at the end of the story. In the lumber room, despite ill treatment, Nicholas remains happy. Discuss how imagination helps Nicholas to face the unfair treatments of the aunt. Lumber room symbolizes the curiosity, imagination, and wilderness. We still didn't talk about the significance of the title. That's was something I'm hoping to do by the end of the story, because lumber room comes as the title. Lumber room as a title is important, and lumber room as a location is important in the text. Right? Lumber room එකක් කියන storage room එකක් වගේ එකක්. Okay. Then the 2023 question: punishments may make children stubborn and determined. 2024. I get 2025 question add 2024. The lumber room shows how strict punishments can lead to bold reactions. So whatever we spoke so far itself adds up as points for you to write. Boomerang, if may punishments boomerang on her, mischievous behavior, continuous source of humorous throughout the story. Nicholas wins the heart of the reader. Adults must be careful when punishing children unnecessarily. On questions. So if you go through the story from the beginning to the end properly, it's going to be easy for you. Any questions so far? Any questions? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Any questions? Anything that isn't clear? If you look at the plot construction, this is how the flow goes. First thing is the frog incident, the breakfast incident. Okay. Then you have the departure of the restaurant incident. Then aunt asking Nicholas not to go to the gooseberry garden. And then Nicholas entering the lumber room, fooling the aunt into thinking that he actually entered the gooseberry garden. Then whatever that happens inside the lumber room. After that, you have the water tank situation where the aunt who was expecting Nicholas to enter the gooseberry garden did not, falls into a water tank in search of him. Nicholas water tank. And so aunt falls into the water tank and Nicholas refuses to help her, saying that you told me not to enter, so I'm not going to Agega. And everything boomerangs on her, the religion and all those things that she used upon him. That's the plot construction of the story, and the story ends once again while they are, I think it's tea time, as I remember. So finally, once again it is at something related to food. They're having a snack or something. So starts with food, ends with food. In the beginning of the story, in the start, Nicholas was being punished. In the end of the story, it turns the other way around. The person who was actually punished was the aunt. Right? So that's the plot construction of the story. This is one of my personal favorites or topics when it comes to writing essays, because you can write brilliant answers. Points good, and if your analysis is good, if you can analyze well, if you have an analytical mind, and if you're creative, this is one of the best to write answers. Because the good points, like unlike the Lahore attack and the wave. The thing is, when it comes to the wave and the Lahore attack, nothing wrong with that. There are children who like brilliant answers to that, but the reason they are not my personal picks are because now, if you take a Netflix series, okay, who watches Netflix? Netflix, okay, series. Netflix, sorry, Monahari. Okay, tell me the ones who prefer movies. Okay, tell me whether you prefer movies or series. Binner a series. Monal Binner a series.
I prefer sleep.
Dexter, okay. Dexter, Rookie. You prefer sleep, okay? Now, like if you are to choose between movies and Binara is like the typical teenage can, not teenage, early teenage kid. You haven't entered teenagehood yet.
Movies.
Movies, okay. Unal, movies or series?
Movies.
Yeah.
Movies.
Aditya?
Bros down.
What do you mean
උට
bros
විග්‍රේඩ්
down?
ඇවිසිලා
Ada big brain ඇදිලා.
මයිග්‍රේෂන් ඌ
My-
ඉමිග්‍රේට් එක
Bro got migraine.
It's not funny, but Paua, the way you said was funny. I'm not laughing because the child is sick. I'm laughing
That
because of
guy
the
is
way
you
you said
racist
You is-
it. Racist. How am I racist? Aditya and I am from the same race. We are from the
Nah.
same country.
nah
We
nah
have the same skin tone.
you are stone age and he's modern age
Since it's on recording, I'll catch you later. I'll tell you who's from when, which. Yeah,
Condom
what do
pepper.
you prefer, Onita? Series, of course. Okay, right. So there are people who prefer series, there are people who prefer movies. When it comes to series or movies, what's it now? If you look at a movie, a movie now imagine you watch maybe it's for 2 hours or so, and within the 2 hours, the entire plot construction, the character development, everything is in just that 2 hours. But if you watch a season, episode the characters go through a series of changes. බලද්දි කතාවේ මුල හිටපු එක්කෙනා නෙමෙයි අග වෙන්නකොට ඉන්නේ. The characters, the good people should turn out to be bad, the bad people turn out to be good. Maybe there's like a secret character inside who comes out later on in the text. So the themes or the character analysis cannot be solely determined through just watching 2 hours of a series. Why? Because the whole character is stretched upon upon the episodes within that particular series. But inside a novel, inside a movie which you watch for 2 hours or so, within the 2 hours or so, you have the entire plot construction, entire character development. It's the same thing when we talk about extracts and short stories. Within prose, when we talk about the extracts, if you take the extract of the speech and the extract of the novel, it's only part of it. සංගක්කාරක ස්පීච් එකේ කෑල්ලක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට සොනාල දෙරණියගේ බුක් එකේ the wave කියන book එකේ novel එකේ කෑල්ලක් තියෙනවා. Just a part of it. So making judgments or writing essays from that, my personal opinion, for me, I don't prefer it much because ලියන්න ලොකුවට points නෑ. එකම ටික වගේ තමයි ලියන්න තියෙන්නේ මට නම්. I mean, I can write 15 mark answers to it, and me as a teacher, but me as a student, if I look at it, මට නම් චුට්ටක් මට හිතනවා ඊට වඩා short story ලේසි කියලා. I just shared my personal opinion. It's up to you. You can select whatever you want. හතරක් දීලා තියෙන එක නේ හතරෙන් ඕන එකක් වා select කරගන්න. I just told you my personal point of view and the reasoning behind it. Okay, right. Then the gooseberry garden thing. I am ready to continue this part, but මෙතනින් මම මේ කැල්ල පටන් ගත්තොත් until until half of this even I have to read. තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. මට දැනගත්තොත් තවුල් වගේ. Let's do it. Okay, Vinara. Right. 7:30 ඉවර ගන්න බැරි වෙයි එහෙනම්. Let's see. Then මේ කවුද අදිත නෑනේ එහෙනම් අතට ඔනිත read why not. Read from why not demanded Nicholas. Onita? I've been saying internet is okay. Vinara?
Miss කොතනින්ද?
Why not demanded Nicholas.
Because you are in disgrace, said the aunt loftily. Nicholas did not admit the flawlessness of the reasoning. He felt perfectly capable of being in disgrace. and in a gooseberry garden at the same moment. His face took on an expression of considerable obstinacy. It was clear to his aunt that he was determined to get into the gooseberry garden. Only, as she remarked to herself, because I have told him he is not to. Now the gooseberry garden had 2 doors by which it might be entered, and once a
Okay,
small
hold
person
on,
like
hold on. So yeah, Nicholas is arguing back. Why not? I am very an answer because you're in disgrace. So Nicholas is wondering, okay, why cannot? What is the reason behind it? Okay, I can be in disgrace because he doesn't understand the meaning of the word disgrace. For him, like aunt is like පෞසිද්ධ වෙන දැන් ළමයිට අර මම අර මුලින් කතා කරපු what is correct parenting කියලා එයා සරල පූසෙට ගහනකොට අම්මා කියනවා ඔන්න පුතේ පූසට ගහන්න එපා පෞසිද්ධ වෙනවා. And another mother is saying පුතේ පූසට ගහන්න එපා පූසට රිදෙන නිසා. What is the better parenting style? That was how we started the conversation. So my point of view is the better parenting is saying පූසට රිදෙන හින්දා ගහන්න එපා. මොකද ළමයාට පව් කියන්න මොකද්ද කියලා තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. It's the same thing here. Now he is like okay, I can be in disgrace and I can also stay in the gooseberry garden. Why cannot I stay in both? And also one more thing, gooseberry garden is taken as you can take it as a symbolic icon. What is a gooseberry garden? Gooseberry garden is a garden, okay, but garden lamai kamathi, children like nature, children like to have fun. So her saying something, her asking someone to do, not to do something is her way of saying to do so. Aunt maturity level is very low. Like na hitanako me මට ඕනේ මොන හරි දෙයක් කරගන්න. Okay, I have tried this mechanism on my own brother when he was younger too. And I know he can hear it right now. But yeah, I practice. මොන හරි එකක් කරගන්න ඕන නම් කියන්නේ ඒක අනිත් පැත්ත. පුළුවන් නම් පුළුවන් නම් මේ මුළු මේ අර අම්මලොනත් කියන පුළුවන් නම් මේ මුළු වීදුරුම් බීලා පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් නම් අන්න එහෙම කිව්ව ගමන් ළමයා මුළු වීදුරුම් බීලා පෙන්නනවා. but කිව්වා නම් මේක බොන්න මේක ගුණයි කියලා ළමයා බොන්නේ නැහැ. So using what is that mechanism? Reverse psychology. You know, let's see if you can you know, put a body wash under 10 minutes. Let's see whether you can change and get ready under 10 minutes. And ඔය වගේ challenge එකක් දුන්න ගමන්, you know, children tend to do that. And I'm like, you writing nice handwriting, you can't write nice handwriting, your handwriting is terrible. Then what would the child do? The child will write the best handwriting that he or she can and show it. I have tried it myself and it has worked. Body wash under 10 minutes. It just came to my mouth. I don't know. I know it takes more than that, but it's never mind. I don't know how long people take. But yeah, anyhow. That's not going to work for me. I just gave you an example. Why? Kill me? What do you mean kill me? What is wrong, Anita? Nothing? Okay. Why did you ask us to kill you? That's what I was wondering. Nothing. Okay. Anita? Continue. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Hope you're okay. The way you're responding is a little off today. That's why I was wondering whether you're okay. Right. So yeah. So that's what she's doing. Then එක වැරද්දක් කරලා ළමයා මාට්ටුනේ. මොකද්ද මෙයා කරන්නේ? You are not to go to the gooseberry garden. What does she say? Go to the gooseberry garden so that I can catch you and I can punish you again. Very immature. So she wants the child to do something wrong again so that she can punish him again. So aunt thinks she's outsmarting Nicholas by talking about the gooseberry garden and putting a restriction, saying not to. Right? And he is like, okay, so he's feeling, okay, just because she told him not to do so, then I can catch him. So yeah. So the gooseberry garden has 2 entrances and Nicholas is sure. Proof that Nicholas is a small child, Metin, once a small person like Nicholas could slip in there, he would eventually disappear from the view amid the masking of the growth of artichokes, raspberry canes and foot bushes. So basically this is proof to show that Nicholas is a little kid. So and what does aunt do? Where are the kids? Where are the other children? Let me see whether you're still in the story or not. Where are the other kids? Tell me.
Jagborough.
Jagborough. Yeah, they are on their way to Jagborough, or maybe they are or on the way. Somehow they have been sent off to Jagborough. So now Nicholas and aunt are the ones who are there. And what does the aunt do? Achara vada tiyagina, basically she had many other things to do that, than, staying at the gooseberry garden to catch him. Having all of that, she decides to stay there so that she can catch Nicholas in the act. So what does she do? Spend 2 hours, an hour or two in the trivial gardening operations. Aunt's characteristics are like a military person. Once again, authoritative behavior, controlling behavior, kind of like military rule. You don't see a loving, caring person, a persona within her. She's a caregiver. Caregiver is supposed to be loving and caring, while she is the exact opposite of it. So she is keeping, see, a watchful eye on the 2 doors that led to the forbidden paradise. Underline or highlight forbidden paradise. You have to mark the words, how you have to mark how the gooseberry garden is been spoken about, and also later on how the lumber room is spoken about, so that you can compare the two. So aunt is called, okay, so this is being called a forbidden paradise. What is, once again, it's kind of biblical. Adam and Eve එක තියෙන්නේ අර forbidden garden එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඒකේ අර apple ගෙඩියක් කාලා මොමනේ, that is how the human existence started. That is what Christianity or Catholicism pronounces. But yeah, so biblical, once again, biblical illusion. Forbidden paradise. Paradise is something more like heaven, and it's forbidden. You're not allowed to. She was a woman of few ideas with immense power of concentration. Once again, something that you can use as a quote when you're talking about the aunt's characteristics of the aunt, which are directly given in the text itself. She was a woman of few ideas and immense power of she can concentrate very well, but she's a woman with few ideas, which means she's not imaginative. Navinu, read darling.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Nicholas made 1 or 2 stories into the front garden, wriggling
Sure.
his
Okay.
his way with obvious stealth of purpose towards one or other of the doors, but never able for a moment to evade the aunt's watchful eye. As a matter of fact, he had no intention of trying to get into the gooseberry garden, but it was extremely convenient for him that his aunt should believe that he had. It was a belief that would keep her on self-imposed sentry duty for the great part for the afternoon. Having truly confirmed and fortified her suspicions, Nicholas slipped back into the house and rapidly put into executions ex- execution a plan
Execution.
a plan of action that had in his brain. By standing on a chair in the library, one could reach a shelf on which reposed a fat, important looking key. The key was as important as it looked. It was the instrument which kept the mysteries of lumber room secure from unauthorized intrusion, which opened a way only for aunts and a looking key. The key was as important as it looked. It was the instrument which kept the mysteries and lumber room and the key opened a way only for aunts and such like privileged persons. Nicholas had not much experience of the art of fitting keys into keyholes and turning locks, but for some days past he had practiced with the key of the schoolroom door. He had not believed in trusting too much of luck and accident. The key turned stiffly in the lock, but it turned the door open. And Nicholas was in an unknown land compared with which the gooseberry garden was a stale delight, a mere material pleasure.
Okay. So yeah, Nicholas දැන් ආන්ට අන්දන්න පොඩ්ඩක් බොරුවට වත්තට ඇතුල් වෙන්න හදනවා වගේ he's just walking showing in the front of the garden. He's just acting as if he's trying to find a way to go inside. What he's doing is what he's outsmarting the aunt. He said, okay, you want me to come, right? I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to enter this, but I'm just going to show you that I am going to. So aunt is the car in the tama in the barunan kiki. So aunt is having an eye on him, having an eye on the two entrances, waiting for him to enter. But he had no intention. So all this was a master plan made by this kid. His actual idea was not to enter the gooseberry garden or anything. What he wanted was aunt out of the house and to see what is inside the lumber room. The lumber room is a closed space. It's more like a storage room that is being kept shut from the eyes of the children. So the children are curious. එපා කියන දේවල් මම කරන්නේ බලන්න එපා කිව්වොත් ඕකමයි බලන්න. කරන්න එපා කිව්වොත් ඒකමයි කරන්නේ. So when the aunt is saying ඕක ඇතුලේ තියෙන දේවල් බලන්න එපා, the children want to know what's inside. So that's what Nicholas wants to do himself. So what does he do? He acts as if he wants to enter the gooseberry garden, while his actual intentions were to enter the lumber room. See, mark this one, self-imposed entry duty. Aunt තමයි එයාට ඒක දීගෙන ඒ කියන්නේ ආමි සෝල්ජර් කෙනෙක් වගේ security guard කෙනෙක් වගේ එයා entrances දෙක දිහා බල and it's something imposed by herself. Nobody asked her to do that. අච්චර වැඩ තියාගෙන එයාම තමයි එයාට එහෙම කරාගෙන තියෙන්නේ. And what does Nicholas do after fighting her suspicions, after making sure that she is sure that he's going to enter the gooseberry garden? He steps back to the house and puts into the plan that he has he wanted to do for a long period of time. It has been something that has been growing in him for a long time, had long germinated in his brain. කියලාම තියෙනවානේ බලන්න aunt අර ළමයිව මේ ජග්බරෝ එකට යවුවේ. It wasn't something that she thought much. It wasn't planned. On the spot, she just spontaneously did that. Her actions were very habitual. While Nicholas is not so. Contrastingly, although he's a child, he is more mature. And he outsmarts the aunt. He executes a plan which he has been planning for a long period of time. Him wanting to go to the lumber room was not something that came spontaneous. That is something he has been looking for some time. And he has been working on it. And see, he has even practiced because he knows he's a kid and he didn't think of luck or accident. What did he do? He has practiced unlocking as well, unlocking keys, so that he can make sure that he can unlock the key at once. And mark, important key. Why is it important? It's like the key that opens the door towards a new world of imagination. And unauthorized intrusion, unauthorized people කවුද? The people who don't have the authority. So monkey power struggle is a theme in this story. So for the aunt is the one who holds power. And one more way of aunt suppressing the kids is like, okay, I am the one who holds power. I can do what I want. You all are not allowed to go to the gooseberry garden. And aunt makes exits through it. And Nicholas can see it. Nicholas and the other children. So Nicholas is a මොකද්ද මෙයා මේ මේකට යනවා විතරයි පේන්නේ. Only people, privileged people like the aunt can go inside. I also want to go and see what is inside. Right? So he has, and another good line is this. He did not believe in trusting too much to luck and accident. Nicholas is rational. Take these words down. Rational, logical, practical. He's rational, logical, and practical. He doesn't believe in luck. Hari yai කියලා හිත ඉන්නේ. Hari යන්න ඕනේ. I have not done this before, so I have to practice it. He practices it to make sure he is able to do it without just believing by chance ඇරුණොත් හොඳයි කියලා. Unlike the aunt. It was stiff, but then he opens it and see Nicholas. So now remember, a lumber room is something similar to a storage room. And for him, it was a whole land, an unknown land. I told you to mark how the gooseberry garden was explained and later on to compare it with how the lumber room was explained. Here is the line. Metin, compared with the gooseberry garden, which was a stale delight, a mere material pleasure. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ උනත් එකම fun දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Maybe it's a fun place to go. Maybe it's fun to be with certain people, to enjoy, have fun and all of that. ටිකක් දවස් යනකොට එකම දේ කරද්දී එපා වෙනවනේ. ඒක fun තමා, but ඊට වඩා something new excites you even more. So that is exactly what Nicholas is feeling as well. Nicholas is a child. So gooseberry garden එකට යන්න ආසයි තමා. Gooseberry garden looks fun. Wait, something's wrong with my screen. Wait. What happened to my screen? No, okay. Yeah. So gooseberry garden is fun. He can go see a lot of fruits and eat fruits, see beautiful flowers, see animals and all that. He loves it. But it is a stale delight, stagnant. It is known. You are curious to know what is unknown than what is known. It is delightful. He's not denying it. But it's a stale delight. ඒක දන්න දෙයක්. ඒක තියෙන දේවල් දන්නවා. It's stagnant. පල් වෙලා තියෙන. It's stale. A mere material pleasure is just some sort of a material pleasure. That's it. So in comparison, the forbidden paradise in the beginning turned into a stale delight or a mere material pleasure in comparison to the unknown land, the Lambaru. Is that clear? So far, we have completed up to the place where he enters the Lambaru. And then we have to see what his life after his experience within the Lambaru, things he see and all of that. Any questions so far? Anything that is not clear to you all? Anything you want to add on to whatever we spoke so far?
No.
No, everything was clear now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unal?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Aditha recording balani kyan, Oshinita recording balani kyan, Onita inna. Onita, how was it for you? Anita? Anita is texting. Yeah, good. Okay. Vinara? Okay. 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 Right. So absent or missing කට්ටියට recording එක බලන්න කියන්න. Next day, probably Sunday, let's try to finish the lumber room. අපිට තව lumber room එකේ තියෙන්නේ. Oh no, we have a little too. Oh no, not much. We can finish it the next day and hopefully also discuss questions. Next Sunday අපි online ද කරන්නේ ළමයි? Because you all have exams on Monday. I don't mind.
Probably online.
Probably online. Okay. So then අපි lumber room එක online ම ඉවර කරමු. ඒක ලේසි දැන් පටන් ගත්ත එකේ. And I'll see whether I can arrange something physical on Monday so that we can discuss. Then y'all can bring the answers that y'all wrote and come itself. Because paper discussion I like if we can do it physically, because then I can see the way y'all write and all of that and discuss. Okay. So I'll see. I'm not sure whether I can have a class on Monday, but even if not so, අපි Sunday හම්බ වෙනවා. So Sunday lumber room ඉවර කරමු. අතකට term test එක ලියන්න. You have 2 prose texts. You have 3. We have done lumber room. We are doing lumber room and Nightingale උත් ඉවරයි. ඔනිත Nightingale ඉවර කරගන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් Nightingale ඉවරයි. Lahore එකේ recording එක තියෙනවා. You can watch the recording. And wave විතර අපිට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Drama dekam ivarai. Poetry වලින් අපිට ඉතුරු I think 1 or 2 life or something. I think we have 1 or 2 poems from one of those themes and humor තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තියෙන novel එක. So next month my priority is to finish at least half of the novel somehow, one way or the other. Okay, then that's it for today. Go study. Good luck for your exams. See you all next week. Bye.
Bye, miss. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Welcome. Bye.
Bye, miss. Thank you. Good night, miss.
Good night. Bye bye.